month we go through the first issues and tell you how accessible they are and whether we want to continue reading them. To start us off,
we have The Discipline from Image. The Discipline is a bored 20-something lured in by literal sexual demons. So this was a very sexy comic. Very accessible.
Yeah, brand new comic.
I really enjoyed the story. It was confusing in a good way, in an intriguing way.
Gonna keep reading it?
I would keep reading this, I think.
I'll give it another go.
The whole idea of it was very strange, and yeah, it was mysterious. It led me on, and I'm going to go ahead and get that second issue. The art was really cool.
It's always a fine line between smut and, you know...
It was a fine line between smut.
I did feel a little dirty reading it, but I like
That's
it.
always...
I wouldn't read it on the bus.
Yeah.
What you got, Seth?
Okay, Black Widow from Marvel. Fan favorite Black Widow stole something. S.H.I.E.L.D. wants it back, and it doesn't look like she's going to hand it over. It is very accessible. It might help a little bit if you've seen some of the movies. But how good was it? It was really good.
I'm giving it a big thumbs
up. It was
up.
my favorite first issue from March. The art specifically, Chris Samney takes a bigger role in the storytelling compared to their Daredevil run, and I think it really shines through. There's a really cool 2-page spread of her jumping out of a helicarrier, and it was fantastic.
Big props to Matt Wilson, the colorist. There's, in that 2-page spread, the only thing that you really see is her hair. It's just like a flash of red. It's
from so far away, like extra...
I'm just going to say it. I think the art was fantastic. Good story, sparse dialogue, huge action sequence, super fun. What'd you think, John?
I didn't love it.
Okay, why not? Tell us why. This was my favorite first issue this month. Seth's too?
Yep.
Give it to me.
Nothing happened.
Nothing?
Literally nothing happened.
Okay.
I would not keep reading.
Really?
Really.
You're just giving up on Natasha
it was
Romanoff.
It was a cool fight sequence, but no story. I just needed a little bit. I needed a little bit more. The art was great.
A well-executed action scene will do it for me. And
sometimes.
Yes,
I see your point, though.
But that was it.
Next up, Avengers Standoff, Assault on Pleasant Hill Alpha, #1. Old Man Cap gets wise to Maria Hill's open-air penitentiary while the inmates stage an escape. Is it accessible? No, because this should not have been a #1. There's literally Avengers Standoff, Welcome to Pleasant Hill #1 last month, where they set everything that goes on in this up, and now they have another #1 for no reason. This should have been a #2, and I don't know. I'm going to keep reading because I want to know what this big summer event is leading up to, and I kind of like the sci-fi quality of, like, changing bad guys into normal people, but no, this should not have been on the #1 list. It was...
Numbering aside, I think the event is at least mediocre.
Yeah, mediocre.
It's interesting, I just don't think it'll have very much lasting effect.
And when you're trying to follow up Secret Wars, shit.
Lords of the Jungle, featuring Tarzan and Sheena from Dynamite. A Tarzan-Sheena crossover with time travel and/or a magical parrot. In terms of accessibility, it would help to know anything about Sheena, since she's literally the only person in this, despite the fact that it says Tarzan
it should be
and
called
Sheena.
Lord of the Jungle, right?
Lady of the Jungle?
Lady of
the Jungle. Besides Sheena, the most like played out secondary character is the magic parrot.
Is a magical parrot, yes. I saw the cover, I saw the gorgeous Alex Ross cover, and I was so amped, and then I opened it up and I was confused and upset. There was a lot of TNA, in a bad way, not in a good way. There was a lot of talking animals. Tarzan's in only one panel, so that was
TNA! Talking animals!
Talking animals.
Karina Becco, she is co-writing with her husband Gabriel Hardman, Invisible Republic, some like realistic, gritty sci-fi that me and Seth really dig. Again, like John said, I saw this Alex Ross cover, saw that Karina was writing it, and then you open it up and it is hot garbage in there. It makes no sense. There's... Yeah, what were we saying?
It's like a bad episode of Captain Planet.
So we're all out on that one.
Yeah, no one's going to keep reading this one. We don't like giving bad reviews to anything, but this was just not our thing. And those boobs and butt thing was just so...
And there's time travel? There's like a jungle multiverse? It's all very confusing.
So... Yeah, it was no good in there.
Three Devils from IDW. A gypsy girl is rescued by a mysterious ex-slave and set on a course for classic Western revenge with a twist.
With a twist!
Twist.
It is accessible. It's a new story with no strands from anything else. I thought the art and the layout was a bit crude. The voiceover didn't really do it for me in parts, but I thought the story was really interesting. The last 5 or 6 pages are very gripping, and I'm definitely in on the next issue.
I'm going to read the next issue. I always appreciate Bo Hampton wrote, drew, did everything but colored this. I always appreciate the one-man army it takes to make a comic book this style. Yeah, I agree with Seth. I did not see the twist coming at the end. And it's interesting, at least, and I really like the bad guy.
Yeah,
Subtle, like,
really
not
good.
too bad guy-y, just enough. Mockingbird, #1 from Marvel. Bobby from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. gets her own title, highlighting the side effects of her being given Cap's super soldier serum. Is it accessible? It would really help if you watched Agents... It would really help if you watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. This is Mockingbird's first comic book besides an annual from last summer. I thought it was great. I'm going to keep reading it. It was funny, lighthearted.
I didn't really love it. I'm not going to continue reading. I thought some of the humor was good.
Mm-hmm.
The Smashing Pumpkins bit was my favorite. But overall, I just didn't... I guess maybe lacking the knowledge of the character really hindered my enjoyment of the book. So
A bulk of the title takes place in a doctor's office where she has to check in to see the side effects of the super soldier serum, and you see Tony Stark reading about STDs. Howard the Duck is in there. It's just, I don't know. I thought it was really funny.
All right, up next, Power Lines from Image. An ancient power erupts in the already racially charged streets of modern California. Is it accessible? Sure.
Yeah, it's a new title.
In as
from
much as
Image.
it's a new title from Image, and you can read it.
Yeah.
from our uncontrollable laughter, I'm sure you know where this is going.
Would I keep reading it? I wouldn't. I can't.
Yeah.
For a comic book that is trying to address race relations in America, it's weirdly racist. Then a magical Native American shoots a bunny rabbit through the eyeball to solve race relations, which just doesn't seem...
I was just turned off by the gang names in the beginning.
Oh my! That's what. The
Yeah.
ham-fisted nature of how the African American characters in this book talk just made it seem racist somehow. Again, we don't want to shit on, especially creator-owned. Like this dude drew it, he wrote it. That's awesome. This is your vision. But I do not ever want to revisit White Street.
The Haunted Mansion #1, a classic Disney attraction, gets its own adventure as a morning teen is tasked at saving the mansion's ghost population.
I love that description.
Is it accessible? From that description, it is as crazy as it sounds. But it is accessible. It jumps right into the story. So plot heavy.
It's
yeah. I don't think I'll continue reading. I don't think it was targeted at all towards us, so more power to you if younger kids like it. It was just really just batshit crazy to me. The characters were just not nuanced at all. They like told every single feeling they were having out loud. The main character kid has a laughable experience at school where he writes a report about the one person he respects in his life, his dead grandfather. And then his classmates laugh at him about it, so that was weird.
Bare your soul to the class so we can laugh you off the stage about your dead grandpa. It was,
But again...
On the Matterhorn.
Who died on the Matterhorn. Yeah, I was not into this. It was laughable, like the turn of events when it's like, I'm not brave enough to go in the mansion. Yeah, fuck it, I'm gonna go in the mansion. I got this chest of fucking adventure gear and a flashlight. International Iron Man #1 from Marvel Comics. A character deconstruction on Tony Stark by an all-star creative team. Is it accessible? Yeah, it's a young Tony Stark. It would help if you knew who Iron Man was, I guess, but this is Brian Michael Bendis and Alex Maleev. One of my favorite things he's done recently was Lando with Charles Soule.
Good.
I liked it. I'm probably going to keep reading. Tony Stark is always an asshole, and he wasn't in this. He's like a young college kid in Europe doing his thing.
I really dug it too. Tony Stark's a character I don't typically like very much, but in this comic, I think his earnestness and his like, he's still like quippy and self-deprecating, but he is not. He's taking his actions seriously. Like he's interested in this woman, and he's not like jaded. So I think this story really gets that character right for me. So I'm going to continue reading as well.
And Alex Maleev's art is really good. I was surprised at how many headshots were at the end of it. People were just getting capped, and it was kind of violent. But besides that, I really liked it.
Last but not least, maybe least.
Maybe least. I
is
don't know, man.
Circuit Breaker from Image. Post-Mega War Japan hates robots, but there seem to be robots everywhere.
Accessible?
In a cartoony sense,
Sure.
Yeah. But would not keep reading for probably that same reason. Just a little too cartoonish.
Yeah. What did you say yesterday? It's like watching the worst Cartoon Network show you've
yeah,
ever
it's
seen.
like Toonami with less fun.
Yeah, I didn't get it. Everyone's phone has AI, and they're like really relying on robots, and then robots attack them, but then robots save them. I don't know. It seemed really.
Robots
confusing.
are selling like knockoff purses on the
Yeah,
subway.
there's
or
like
something.
hobo robots selling
it's
shit.
just
Oh my, yeah. Not for us.
Well, we did kind of take a shit on a bunch of
Yeah, I'm
comics
sorry,
this
guys.
month, but there were a good amount of bad first issues. But that'll bring us to the end of our favorite first issue segment.